Academica Media. You are listening to Charter School Superstars, bringing you the voices of an education revolution.
Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm Ryan Kairalla from Academica Media. So great to have you here for our very first episode of Charter School Superstars for the new year. We took the summer off, but we're back. We're fresh as a daisy. We're ready to interview some amazing, innovative charter school leaders like our guest this week. He is the Director of Career Readiness at the Reach Cyber Charter School in Pennsylvania. Reach Cyber's online curriculum focuses on providing career education, including education in the trades, to its students remotely to help introduce them to as many career pathways as possible. You can find out more about our guest's work by visiting www.connectionsacademy.com/reach-cyber-school. We are happy to welcome JD Smith on the Charter School Superstars. Hello, JD. Oh, we can't hear your audio there.
And of course,
there
as everything goes, the virtual world. Ryan, thanks for having me. I'm so happy.
Hey, we all took the summer off. We're all shaking off the rust here. Don't worry. I'm really excited to talk to you, man. First of all, I love career education programs, love seeing career education in the charters, and also a big fan of online curriculum and online learning. So excited to hear from you about how all this goes together and the role that you play in all of it. So to start us off, can you tell us a bit about the work that you do over at Reach Cyber?
Yeah, pleasure. Again, thanks for having me. At Reach, I am just trying to break down any barriers that exist for students that attend our school and make sure that they're making an informed decision when it comes to their future once they graduate from Reach. So it really started with looking at traditional VOTEC schools and seeing the programs that we have and students asking if they could still stay at Reach, but go to VOTEC because they were interested in, wood shop, carpentry, and those things. And that's actually where I got started. I was able to connect with the Carpenters Union here on the East Coast, and they said, take this curriculum and run with it. Whatever you do, build it. And so that's where we started. And carpentry is our first program.
Well, I'd love to hear more about the role that those community partnerships play in developing your career ed programs, but hold that thought because I want to first ask the question I think is on everybody's mind when you think of these career ed programs with your schools. And let's do that by talking about your school's career education curriculum generally. And in particular, let's answer the question that's on all of our minds right now. How is your school able to provide career education in high-touch trades such as carpentry and wood shop through a fully online delivery model?
Yeah, I have to give all credit to Maplewood Shops. They were the ones that helped in our brainstorming with Mike Schloff, the owner, CEO of Maplewood Shops. Just we met just constantly, but we figured it out right away because he had kits ready to go that he was taking into brick and mortar schools and doing programs. And as a STEM charter school, we were already sending STEM kits to our students. So it wasn't foreign to me. And I said, Mike, why don't we just send kits? And so our students get hand tools, no power tools. So that's key. They also get a workbench and we send them the lumber. This all comes from Maplewood Shops. They send it to each student's home that's enrolled in the program and they're doing it right in their house. The workbench is key so that dining room tables don't get destroyed.
That strikes me as one of those things that maybe we learned with experience.
Yeah.
The first time one of the students just cuts through their table, maybe we better get these kids some workbenches. That's so cool though. So even though this is an online program, they're not just looking at YouTube videos of, this kind of carpentry getting done. These kids actually get to work with the tools at home. So there is a real physical element, even though the education itself is technically happening online.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that was the key, was to find a way. And I just needed to make sure I found a way and did what was right by students. And being in online education for over 10 years, we should be limitless in what we can do. We're supposed to be the ones that are bringing innovation to education. And this is it. And it's easy, right? And to get these hands-on experiences for the kids that was the easy part. I think the hard part was figuring out if parents were okay with how much wood do we send? How much lumber do we send to the house? Because I could just imagine a parent seeing a flatbed truck pull up and there's like life size. It's like, what do you want our kid to build? Well, really, we want them to build a shed for you. And I'm sure all of the fathers and grandfathers that are caretakers and learning coaches would have been fine with that. But we said we'll start small. We'll do birdhouses and bookshelves and things like that. But that actually lends itself to some of the service learning that we're wrapping into the program. My teacher Wyatt Anderson. We got together with Mike, and we're already talking Habitat for Humanity partnership. But there's going to be a community building service learning aspect. Do we go to, homes in the communities that our students are living in and say, you know what, this wall needs to be repaired, or this porch is in shambles. Our students are going to repair that as a project. Connect with those in the community. Is there a way? There's got to be a way. We're going to find a way.
I love this. I love the lesson it tells us that even though education might be happening online, it doesn't mean that we can't have hands-on learning.
Absolutely.
It doesn't mean that we can't have project-based learning. It doesn't mean that we can't have service learning and community-based learning. That's so exciting. And talking about community, let's now bring it back to this notion of community partnerships. In my experience, I found that the best career education programs work with outside stakeholders, and Reach Cyber is no stranger to that. In your carpentry program, for example, you guys are working with trades unions and other community partners to help bring these programs to life. Talk about these partnerships. How important are they to developing your education program?
They're primary to the students getting that work-based or industry-based learning experience because they're the professionals, and it's such great experience, and a lot that their peers in other schools, brick and mortar, and even some other charter schools aren't getting. But as Reach and our community and our culture, we're so open to sharing that with other charter schools and how we do it. But it is primary to the success of the program, to getting students with adult professionals, and they are hungry. They love it. They're thinking, wow, I can get a high school student, before they're in college or wherever they're at, and meet with them and build this relationship. That's the key. It's the relationship. And these students are finding success. I mean, there's so many other programs that we're doing. I couldn't list them all. My career readiness managers once I turned them loose, they were just gone. I meet with them and they're like, hey, I got this, and this. We got to get it to the school board to get it approved.
Well, can you give us a few of those programs? Because I know you do a lot more than just carpentry. And when I saw the list, I was like, man, there's some really cool career programs here.
Yeah. So in-house, we have carpentry, veterinary sciences is getting going. And that there's, face-to-face opportunities there.
Y'all aren't sending dogs to kids' houses, right?
Nope. We're not sending pets, and we're also encouraging them not to work on their own pets at home.
Well, thank goodness.
It's a little disclaimer we have to put out there, but sending those 3D models that are puzzles, and they can put together the animal anatomy. I mean, it's so easy. I think the biggest part of that program is the professional experience, getting students in the office of veterinarians or into shelters or whatever, and letting them explore that, equine farms, and really pushing. I wanted this first, but this was so hard. But I've been blessed with a relationship with some colleagues in the field of education that connected me with this individual. But we're going to have a cosmetology program starting this year, and that is right now it's virtual, but that's going to give time for that teacher to build out, the kits that we're going to send to students, and she's going to demo the technique during the lesson, and students can pull out their mannequin and demo the technique back, and then she can get that instant feedback on camera. We have an RV, so we're loading this stuff on our bus that'll go around for face-to-face opportunities, just to get the kids out of the house. So that might be where we allow use of scissors because we'll have an adult supervising, but we're not sending scissors to the home as well. So a couple disclaimers there. And that's in-house. That's Reach. We created that. That's our staff teaching it to the state standards and the task list of the VOTEC education. But as far as partnerships, I mean, our work-based learning, we have Boys and Girls Club of Western Pennsylvania. They have an AI program, a robotics program, culinary. So just within the Boys and Girls Club of Western PA, they have a ton of opportunities that we just jumped on so students can get virtual and face-to-face. They have a ton of locations out there that they can get to, but it's flexible for the students. ABC Keystone has been one of our first to get that construction pre-apprenticeship, heavy construction, commercial construction. So there's so much. I just had a meeting this morning with a company, Mythic Brands, and we're going to develop a program. Well, not develop. We are going to develop, but starting this school year, there's a program that our students are going to have the ability to take part in, regardless of career interest, and it's all about personal branding. It's teaching them how to create their digital presence and have the confidence to give an elevator speech if they interact with a C-suite level executive, depending on their field. So it's all about the way I visioned it when I first started was Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, well, not necessarily Michael Jordan, LeBron and Kobe, and having the skills as high schoolers to go right to the pros. So applying that to non-athletes or even athletes that are just looking for applying that to career readiness. We need to equip students with the skills in high school to get them ready to go pro.
Gosh, I love this. It really does speak to the full potential that online learning can provide. And you're able to create these career readiness programs, not despite the online curriculum, but in service of the online curriculum. The online curriculum is supporting these things. It's getting the students out into the world where they're actually doing these career activities. Very exciting. For the other online schools out there, JD, that are hearing what you're saying and are like, wow, we want to have more career education options in our virtual charter, what advice would you give them?
I would say start off with certifications. I think it was the easiest path to go to just get the ball rolling. So we started with Microsoft Office certifications for students to become specialists. And, I thought about that when I was applying for jobs when I was a teenager, and I wrote Microsoft Office proficient. That's a good vocab word. We will use that. That'll draw some eyes. But now kids can actually put that on there. I am a Microsoft Office specialist. Here's my digital badge. Here's my verified. I took the test. I can work Word up and down, Excel. I've got skills that some of your seasoned veterans don't have in the workforce. And creating that digital profile and resume.
That's so cool. Love this. Really inspired by it. As somebody, again, who is a advocate for online learning as well as career education, this is really making me smile. Love the work that you're doing. Again, folks, you can find out more about our guest's work by visiting www.connectionsacademy.com/reach-cyber-school. JD, before we let you go, one last question. If with the snap of your fingers, you could make any change to the education system, what change would it be?
Snap of the fingers. I think something that rests on my heart in this environment, this education, is we say we're about developing the workforce and creating a well-educated populace for all students in the state of Pennsylvania, really across America. If I could, I would tackle it for the country. It would be that there should be no divide between charter school and traditional brick and mortar. There should be less arguments about funding and more discussion about how do we work together. I think that's the biggest hurdle right now. Those arguments continue to happen. Charter schools are taking our money and blah, blah. Well, is it about the kids or is it about the money? If it's about the students, we got to find a way to work together, not be at each other's throats, and find the best solutions possible for the future of our country and every one of our states to work together to make sure that these students are coming out. The traditional model is not working anymore, and they're coming out ready to secure the future of our country.
Music to my ears. Spoken like a true charter school superstar. JD, it's been a real pleasure. Thank you so much for being on this week.
Thank you for having me. This is an honor.
And thank you all for checking out Charter School Superstars.
The views expressed on the preceding program have been those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect the views of Academica, its clients, staff, affiliates, or advertisers.